Today I'm going to cover the top 3 mistakes I see brands making within the email marketing. Well, these are things that I see consistently occurring within accounts after auditing dozens and dozens of accounts. So today I'm going to run through the top 3 things, and I'll give you an extra bonus one at the very end. But the first thing I want to talk about is tracking. Tracking is a big problem within email marketing, and it's the first thing that we fix with a lot of our clients. The main issue is a lot of the ESP's default settings when it comes to tracking overinflate the amount of revenue that is attributed to your email marketing, which clouds your judgment and gives you false data to make decisions on, which is obviously quite problematic, especially if you're running any sort of paid ads or other front-end acquisition methods, or if you're running any sort of subscription softwares, and that also causes big issues. But right now, I'll jump into an account and show you exactly how it should be set up. This is how your Klaviyo default attribution settings will be set up when you first sign up for an account. So this basically means that a contact can either open an email or click an email within 5 days, and they have a 5-day period for which to purchase, and if they purchase within that 5-day period, the revenue will be attributed to the email that they opened or clicked. So someone can open an email and not click and then buy 5 days later, and they will attribute that revenue, which for a lot of e-com stores that isn't accurate and it overinflates the email revenue dramatically. Furthermore, someone can click an SMS and buy 5 days later, and Klaviyo will attribute the revenue. This is a big issue, especially if you're running any sort of retargeting paid ads. Then a lot of the retargeting efforts or a lot of the conversions that come from the retargeting ads will actually be attributed to Klaviyo, overinflating the amount of revenue that's coming from your email marketing. Furthermore, the default is to not exclude any sort of bot activity in the account. So bot clicks and bot opens can occur, and then someone can buy who signed up with that email up to 5 days later, and Klaviyo will still attribute the revenue. So for example, if someone has subscribed and they use the iOS Apple Mail app, all emails that are sent to their inbox are automatically opened by the Apple Mail app. This means that you can send an email to them, they won't even open it themselves or read it themselves or click any links themselves, and buy within 5 days, and Klaviyo will still attribute the revenue to them. So this is a big issue. Without going into the weeds of it all, I've got another video that goes over this tracking more in depth and explains it all more specifically. So if you want to watch that video, I'll leave it in the link below. But for now, this is how we change it. So we are very strict with our tracking, and we would rather be hedged towards being slightly under attributed rather than being over attributed. So in the spirit of this, we changed the attribution windows to open the email or clicked an email within 1 day, or they click an SMS and purchase within 1 day. Furthermore, we definitely exclude all bot and Apple Mail privacy protection opens, because that's just false data really. With these settings, for a lot of brands, when we first set that up, it halves the attributed revenue from the email marketing. And for a lot of brands and for a lot of founders, it's a shock, but this is actually the true metrics of what their email marketing is generating. So moving forward, to have a much more accurate picture on how much money is actually being generated from the email marketing, and they get a better understanding of what they should focus on, and if it's the main thing that they should be improving, or if they should be focusing on other areas of their marketing. Now, the second thing that I'm going to talk about is the sending segments. A lot of brands are sending all their campaigns to the entire list, which when they're small, sub 1 to 2,000 contacts, that's not a huge issue. But as soon as the brand starts to get older and starts to gain more than 2,000 contacts, then it can really cause an issue when it comes to their email deliverability. The main issue is, as the brand gets older and as the account ages past 6-12 months, then the amount of what are called spam traps that enter the account start to build up. So spam traps are, to be put simply, email accounts that were either abandoned or haven't been used in 6 months plus, and a percentage of these email accounts that are no longer used are turned into spam traps. So the whole idea of spam traps is that the ISPs, the Gmails, the Yahoos or whatever, that their logic behind it is this email account is no longer active, so if anyone is sending emails to this address, then they are sending spam. And for the majority of time, it's true. But for every time that you as a brand send an email to a spam trap, it's like a red cross being added next to your sender reputation. So for every time you do it, you get an extra sort of point taken away from your sender reputation, and then your emails start delivering worse and worse off. So the way to get around this is through setting up the very basic engagement segmentation for your campaigns. So let's jump into this account, and I'll show you exactly how we do it. So the best way to do it, this is how we do it for our accounts, is to set up a engage 180 day segment. because that's the maximum time frame that we can allow contacts to not be engaged with our email marketing while still sending them consistent campaigns. Because the minimum sort of time requirement for spam traps to convert is 6 months. So this is why we have set it at 6 months. Furthermore, if a contact hasn't opened or clicked an email in the past 6 months, then you should start treating them differently rather than just sending them the regular campaigns and put them through some sort of sunset flow, re-engagement flow, etc. So really, there's just 3 simple things that you need to set up here. Condition A is a contact has clicked an email at least once in the past 180 days and the bot click equals false. A quick note is if your account is brand new and you haven't sent any emails before, then you won't have the option to remove this bot click. So all you need to do is send your first campaign, and after this you'll have the option to add this bot click variable. Secondly, you need to select or has open email in the past 180 days, where privacy open equals false. Again, this goes back to the Apple Mail Privacy Protection Act, where Apple Mail will automatically open all the emails that are being sent to their accounts. And then the last thing is, or has subscribed to an email marketing list at least once in the past, either 60 or 30 days. This is really up to you and how well your account's doing, engagement / deliverability wise, but it is really up to you to decide how long you want this time frame to be. My advice is to not make it any longer than 60 days though. Doing this will also catch any sort of emails that enter your account that aren't going through any sort of designated flows. So in many instances, when we first start working with new brands and we dive into their email marketing accounts, we find holes in the email marketing when it comes to how people are opting in and what emails / what flows or automations they're receiving. Many times there are people entering accounts and that are not going directly into any flows. They are either coming in through weird sort of ways, through different softwares or through Klaviyo account signups or through different integrations, but they don't go through any sort of designated welcome flow or post-purchase flow or anything like that. So by including this variable here, we catch all them people and we start putting them into the regular campaigns so they're receiving something rather than just entering their account and receiving nothing at all, because they can't get triggered to start receiving campaigns if they don't engage with an email first. So this sort of catches those people. Lastly, we have the permission variable. So if someone can or cannot receive email marketing, this should be the main segment that you're sending to within your email marketing campaigns. Now, if your engagement starts to diminish / if your regular campaigns start getting open rates of less than 25%, then it may be worth tightening this to a smaller period. So changing this to engage 60, 90, 120 days, whatever you need to do to get your open rates above 25%. Nowadays, that is the minimum open rates that you should be getting in order to maintain a decent sender reputation. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is brands sending inconsistent campaigns. So many times when we look at the brand's past campaigns they've been sending, they are inconsistent, sending two on 1 week and then none for 2 weeks, or one on Monday, one on Sunday, or there's just no consistency within the campaigns that they're sending. My advice is the minimum frequency of campaigns that your brand should be sending is once every 2 weeks, ideally once every week as an absolute minimum. We do this for 2 main reasons. One, to keep your brand top of mind and recognized by your contacts. If you don't send anything for a long time, then your contacts will eventually just forget about the brand and forget about any positive or negative associations that you've made with your brands in the past. So when you do go to send a bunch of campaigns, or you go to send a promotion or Black Friday, Cyber Monday emails or anything like that, when you send it to the inbox, they will not recognize your name, or they will see it and not associate any positive value with your brands. On the other hand, if you have been sending consistent, valuable campaigns to your contacts, when you do run your Black Friday, Cyber Monday campaigns, they will see your from name, they'll recognize it, they'll know what your brand's about, and they'll have in their recent memory all the valuable campaigns that you've been sending, and they'll associate your brand with sending valuable campaigns, or not only sending promos or not only trying to sell you shit. The second part of it is to keep some sort of consistent sending frequency within your account without going into the weeds of it. And to give an extreme example, if you as a brand don't send any campaigns, or if you as a brand don't send any emails or less than 1,000 emails a month, for example, and then come Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you go to send 20,000 campaigns or 50,000 or 100,000 campaigns, that's going to cause a lot of issues, and your emails won't deliver well because of a multitude of email deliverability issues. So long story short, it's important to keep a consistent level of email sending frequency within your account in order to not cause email deliverability issues when it comes to high sending frequency events. Now, the thing is, for many brands, they hear the recommendation of sending weekly campaigns or once every 2 week campaigns, and they get intimidated by the idea of having to consistently do this over time. But the thing is, if you can write evergreen campaigns that are full of value or can be sent at basically any time throughout the year, then you can recycle these campaigns every 4 to 6 months. People don't remember email campaigns they received a month ago, let alone 3 months ago. So especially if you change the subject line and the lead of the email, or the lead and the call to action of the email, then you can resend the emails every 4 to 6 months. So really, as a brand, you may only need between 12 and 24 campaigns that you can just keep cycling on repeat over the year. And the cool thing is, if you consistently test and optimize these emails, then each 6 months you'll be sending a better version of the email to your list, and over time will get better and better. Now, this leads me to the bonus point, which is I'm shocked by the amount of brands out there not doing any optimization or any testing at all within their email marketing accounts. Now, again, I've done a video on this going in depth into optimization, and I'll leave that video linked in the description below. But there's a quote from David Ogilvy that sort of encapsulates what I'm about to say perfectly. And that is, if you never stop testing, your advertising will never stop improving. It's not exactly that, but it's very close. The whole idea of that sort of quote is, with that quote in mind, we can sort of flip it on its head. And by that, I mean, if you never optimize or if you never test your marketing, then it will never improve. A lot of brands rely on their email marketing or the marketing in general getting better by their own emotional decisions. And when it comes to strategizing and planning out the next sort of batch of campaigns or batch of emails, or how the emails should look or should be written, the decisions are made from, oh, I think this looks better or this is cooler, rather than data from past campaigns. This is an issue because almost the majority of the time, even us as marketers, but as founders as well, we're wrong about what our contacts want exactly and what they value more. I can't count the amount of times that we've run optimization or we've run split tests, and I've thought and we've thought, my team's thought that this version's going to do better, but we run it and the data comes back and we were completely wrong. Now, if we didn't have that data, then we wouldn't know and we wouldn't have learned. But because we have that data, next time we can make better decisions and run with the better variables and the better versions. But if you as a brand are running no A/B split testing, no optimization efforts, then you won't have any data to look at, and you'll consistently keep making the same mistakes that stops your marketing from improving. So actually, I believe this looks like A/B split testing: offers, send times, front names, subject lines, preview text, call to actions, email leads, copy, email format, email length, basically whatever you want. And again, I'd recommend watching my video on optimization that runs through where you should start testing and in what order of things you should start testing within your email marketing accounts. But the main thing is just to start testing, start looking at the data, at the results, and learn from the results that you get. There was this one instance specifically where the client wanted to send emails with more links and more images and make them look quote unquote more pretty. And we knew this wasn't going to work. But we run the split test for them over multiple campaigns, and we showed them the data, and we tested email campaigns with less images and 1 or 2 call to actions against email campaigns with lots of images and multiple call to actions. And the data decisively showed that emails with less images and less call to actions not only delivered better and got better open rates, but got better click-through rates and better sales. Even after doing that and showing the client those results and the data, they opted to keep sending with the more quote-unquote pretty emails, which we then basically said, okay, if you really want to do this, we'll do this, but this is definitely not conducive to getting the best engagement, sales results from your email marketing at all. But that story really just highlights the emotional decision-making frameworks most founders are using to make decisions within their email marketing, with their marketing as a whole. So please stop doing this and look at the data, run tests, and optimize your marketing more efficiently and in a data-driven way. Now, that's everything I want to cover today. Number 1, tracking. Number 2, engage segments. Number 3, sending consistent campaigns. And then the bonus one, start testing and running optimization within your accounts. If you have any questions on any of this stuff, please feel free to reach out and I'll help you out. But if you like the video, feel free to give it a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, then you can subscribe. But again, I'll link them to videos mentioned in the description below. Until next time, cheers.